And now we'd like to introduce Dr. Eric Biker from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte in the USA. And his publication is Critical Perspectives on Equity and Social Mobility in Study Abroad. And I'd like to remind all speakers that to leave your remarks for 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Frazier, Dr. Busta, to Morgan State University for hosting. This is a great webinar, awesome opportunity too to get together as a global community. So thank you so much for making this possible. So my chapter was written with two of my colleagues at UNC Charlotte, and like other chapters or folks who have talked about here, we actually wrote this prior to COVID-19, and then as we all came back from short-term study abroad programs or leading study abroad programs, my colleagues and I wanted to put something together to reflect that. And of course, COVID-19 has changed some of that. So in my remarks, I'm going to keep them brief, but I want to talk a little bit about how going forward, we could adapt this same model with more kind of a virtual exchange and COIL or globally networked learning. So our chapter is called The Study Abroad Diamond, Examining Facets of Supporting Student Mobility. We examined our 3 study abroad programs that we lead. One was to Germany, another was to South Africa, and another was to Spain. Each one of them were different time lengths, but all kind of had the qualities of a short-term type of study abroad program. We found that there was a growth, even in the short-term study abroad, growth in our students, our participants who were mostly all teacher candidates, growth in their intercultural awareness and communication. We found that the travel was one of the strongest ways to get to know a place and cultural group, which shouldn't be surprising, as well as we found that our participants developed a more refined understanding of what does it mean to global citizen, as well as developing some global competencies. So with that, we also put together a model called the Study Abroad Diamond to be able to explain what makes for successful study abroad experiences. It's not just something that is can happen overnight, as we all know, but the student experiences are often what shines the brightest, the top facet of the diamond, but it's strengthened, of course, by the programming, the mission of your university, and also the kind of systems you have in place, international systems, networks, etc. So now during the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been, of course, many barriers and challenges. There are some opportunities as well. And one of the things that we discuss, taking a critical approach in this chapter, is that study abroad can be great for some, but it also can be sort of a passport of privilege. And that's a real issue. It's an equity issue. And virtual exchange, like the COIL projects or GNL, Globally Networked Learning projects, I happen to be leading 2 this semester, one in Germany, one with Kazakhstan. They provide more sort of equitable opportunities. Nothing can replace sort of being in country and that study abroad, but there are now more of my students, teacher candidates. I have one class of 25 that's engaged with a project in Germany, another group of 12 students who are engaged in Kazakhstan, who most likely there would have been a very small fraction of those students who could actually go on study abroad. So there are some opportunities now with virtual exchange to allow for what I call virtual student mobility and to engage in international experiences. And I look forward to our discussion time where we can talk a little bit more about that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Biker, for sharing your research and experiences with us.